So this is a video about exactly how I made my bunny figurine out of polymer clay. I first start off with some aluminum foil and make the shape of the head or the rest of the body as well. And I make sure it's kind of tight, try not to have too many bumps in place. That's kind of the finished product for the aluminum foil part, for that particular part of the bunny. There's a few other of the parts as well, including the ear, and the ear has a space, like a hollow space on it as well. And so there's some of the little pieces. And so now I have the clay. It's going to be an all white figure, but then it will be painted. So I'm just kneading it and stretching it, and then I'm using this roller, this clear acrylic roller as well, to flatten it out so that I can easily wrap the pieces. Here's a flat piece. I take a piece and then wrap it around and smooth it, and I have my little finger gloves as well, to help prevent fingerprints on the actual figure, because it doesn't look too good when there's fingerprints on it. So this is another piece that I'm just wrapping, making it sure it's kind of flat. My figures do have a bit of a bumps to it, but that's okay. I think it gives it character. And so I'm just going around and flattening it out. Here's some of the pieces all put together and flattened. There's an ear right there. So there's some of the pieces. And now I just have to put all the pieces together again to make the actual figure as well. And just make sure it's going to be able to stand up on its own. So kind of flattening it to the table. And then here I am putting the ear on, and just pressing it in. And so I'm also making these lines with this tool. It's like a clay tool to give some dimension to the tail. Here's a paintbrush, but it's a good shape to just give a little bit of an indent where the eyes will be. And then I smoothed it out as well with my fingers so that it doesn't look like too harsh of a angle to it. Here's the little flower that's going to be on its head. I put little balls together and then flattened it out as well. And so that made the flower. And then there's all the pieces together and baked. And then we also need to do the actual painting of it as well, but that's what it looks like fresh out of the oven and warm. So now we're painting it. I'm getting this, like, it's like a skin tone color, but it's a nice mocha brown. I really like these colors. It's from Crateology, I think the name is. And I'm giving this bunny a brown type of palette other than the flower. So I'm just filling it in and using the paintbrush to go around, and making sure things are even on both sides. Sometimes it's good to do both sides at the same time so you can kind of realize how far you're going on both sides, or exactly how you're painting it so you can paint it even. So I'm painting it at the bottom and in the back, on the sides. This is I actually really like this paint. I have some cheaper paint that has kind of a more chalky feeling to it, but but this has like a nice smooth feeling to it. So I definitely want to try different colors of this paint from Michaels. So I'm just painting around the ears, and it's already looking cute. And through each part here, and just building up the color on it as well, just to make sure that it's not super see-through, not super opaque, but I want it to be opaque. And so I'm also making the feet this brown color as well, and to go with the ears, because this is going to be a white and brown bunny. So I love dots, and I love to put dots on things. I just think it looks cute. So I'm using white, and you see how the white is popping against the brown here. So I'm putting it on both sides and as well doing both sides at the same time. Now I have this like detailer brush. It's a nail art paintbrush, but I am going to get the face on. Sometimes it's hard to do the eye. You want to make sure everything is even, and it's a very important part of the figure. So so that's the one eye, and I'm just taking my time trying to not put so much pressure with the paintbrush, because then it's going to give like a big wide line. What I also started doing was just putting a little dot where I wanted to end and start, and then meeting it up to that, or trying to meet it up to that. So that's what I've been doing with to make things a little bit easier. So they look pretty even, like the actual angle of it looks pretty even to me. And then I'm using this brown part for the eyes as well, and making it circular. And I'm loving these nail art brushes because it's so easy to put details in compared to a big brush. And so I'm just filling this in here, the actual eyes, and making sure that I don't miss a spot. And going back and making sure, so this looks very opaque, so it's not really see-through where the eye part is, so that's good. Now here's the nose as well, which as you can see I was nervous to kind of put that in. So that's looking like a little smile there, but that's going to be the nose. And then there's the line for kind of where the mouth is. And I felt like that part was a little bit too thick, so I ended up changing some things with that as well, and doing this side again, and doing that part where I just put the dot first and then fill it in. I'm also making the nose thicker. Feel like you need more of a nose instead of that little smiley face that it looked like, so I just made the nose part a little tiny bit thicker so that it can look like a nose, or more so like a nose. So I think that really made it look a lot better than before. And so now I'm drawing mushrooms on as a decoration with the same, I like to stick with the same colors because I feel like it looks more cohesive with similar colors, not too many different patterns, unless that's what you're going for, is something with a lot of colors, very colorful. But if not, then I like to stick with the same color. So I'm making this little half circle in different sizes. I didn't want the same exact size, so I wanted them in different proportions, just like mushrooms. And so I am doing the tops, but I'm also going to decorate them as well. So I'm also doing the stem with the same brown color, but just not making it so dark though. So I'm just, it's a little bit of a lighter version of it, but it's the same similar color. And then I'm using the detail brush to put little dots on the mushrooms throughout, trying to keep it somewhat even. And I think that looks really cute. Okay, so the eyes, I saw some things that need to be fixed a little bit, some parts that was still showing up, so I filled that in with some more color there. Now I'm doing the flower. I did a light pink color. I feel like pink and brown looks good together, so I put like a light pink, like the pink that I had, and then I added white to it. Then I had this flat brush. I didn't need the really thin brushes for this, and I just filled the outside part with the pink, and then the inside with a little bit of an even lighter pink towards the inside part. Then I used the light brown to go around the outer part of the inside. Just went in the circle. I felt like that gave it more dimension to it instead of in one color. On the inside I used the darker brown that I've been using throughout. And then I put these little dots on here, making it look a little bit like the mushrooms with the little dots as well. So I thought that was cute. Then I'm making the little eyeball here. So it's just going to be with the dotting tool. I'm just putting the dot right at the tips to complete the eye portion of it. This one I wanted to be a little bit bigger than it was. Then the cheeks with the dotting tool, as well as the light pink, and I just put dots on the cheeks as well, just light dots, about 3 different dots. Then on the forehead I put dots on the forehead as well. I ended up feeling like the dots were too dark of a color, so they were a little bit dark, but what I did was I washed it off, which I knew wasn't going to take the color off completely, but lighten it. And I did want dots on the forehead, and so I lightened it up by washing it, and that's what it looks like with it shiny and all ready to go. Subscribe for more cute animal figurines.